run DS Fine Art Marketing. I'm here today with Ashley, the Director of Products from Strayboots. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, how are you, Danielle?
Good. So today we're going to be talking about onboarding and virtual onboarding and how difficult it can be for companies. So can you tell me a little about yourself and what Strayboots is?
Yes, so as you said, my name is Ashley McAnulty, and I'm the Director of Products for Strayboots. And Strayboots is a mobile scavenger hunt company and team building company. We specialize on onboarding, scavenger hunts for individuals, corporations, students, and anybody really looking for team building experiences.
That's great. So in your experience, why is onboarding so difficult for companies, especially right now?
Well, Danielle, I think that there is a lack of engagement in people's onboarding, and there's a clarity on the individual's roles, and the onboarding process doesn't really match the reality of actual real life. So, to simply put, I think that not having a customized program and design that takes them through a specific onboarding that really meets their culture is a lot of the issue, and not having the right technology is another major issue.
And what do you think makes virtual onboarding even more difficult?
I definitely think the lack of engagement and the clarity, just the same as I said. And when you take it to a virtual space, the lack of communication on just regular tasks and the direction and lack of resources, and honestly, not having the proper technology again is a huge aspect of this utilizing the virtual space. If you don't know how to use the technology, you don't have it available to you, or you don't know how to customize it, that can be a huge problem. And you aren't able to take the information that you need and onboard people properly. There's going to be information missing, and that really causes a huge problem with companies. And like I said, the reality does not match what actually goes on in everyday life in the company.
And you're using onboarding and orientation sort of simultaneously. Those terms can be interused, correct?
Correct. So onboarding, orientation, yes, just depends on how your company uses it and what type of program you guys are using.
Great. So what do you think HR or human resources can do to simplify this process? And we know that onboarding usually takes weeks or months to get a new employee engaged into their company. What do you think can simplify that whole process?
I think definitely being prepared, having the proper resources, knowing what type of content and information you want to introduce to those new hires, to your interns, to new clients, whoever it may be that's going through the process.
That's great. That's really helpful. We all know how difficult it is to join a new company, especially right now virtually when you can't meet people in person and get to see the office or get to see your fellow cohort. So I think that's a really interesting idea. Um, can you tell me a little bit of um, about sort of what your previous clients has done or how your process sort of works for something that for Stray Boots?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a program called Bootscamp, and this is offers an active, fun employee onboarding experience, and this can be done virtually or in person. And it's not just about the onboarding process, but it gamifies the onboarding process. So I can give you an example. Right now, I'm working with a company called Cone Health, and they have different campuses at different hospitals throughout North Carolina. And on 4 different campuses, we offer 4 different customized games that they can use. And using our technology that is just straight food specific, nobody else has our technology. We have our own developers that customize this for us. And we use that technology and all the different support systems within it, all the tracking and all the features within it to customize to their specific needs to their campuses. So they all play at different times. They all have different types of questions they need to ask. They all have different locations. So we're able to work with Cone Health to customize on their different campuses and still introduce stuff, information that is important for all of them to know on all different campuses. Um, that is generic Cone Health information, if that makes sense. So we're able to do all sorts of things to be able to work with them.
So, for example, their safety protocols or what sort of handbooks to use, things like that.
Yes, exactly. Down to where to park, where to pick up your paychecks, where to go if you have a question. Um, what are our different protocols and safety regulations, like you said? Where are the doctor's offices? Where are the patient's rooms? Where can I find anything really that they need?
And you mentioned the word gamify. Can you expand on what that means to gamify a program?
Yes. So I love this part. This is one of my favorite things to do. It's taking maybe like all these ordinary and mundane tasks that they would do every day at work, like maybe go visit a patient's room or go to a doctor's office, pick up your paycheck, file a prescription, etc. And then taking that and making it into a fun challenge, like taking a photo op or answering a question, meeting somebody new, being introduced to somebody in the HR office, let's say if they're new, and making it a game and being able to make it a memorable experience instead of just sitting in a classroom learning. This is where the HR office is. This is where you pick this up, etc. So
That's
it makes it more fun.
that's great. So it's interactive instead of just learning and being shown a slideshow.
Exactly.
That's great. And you mentioned a customization. What sort of customizations do you provide for your clients?
Oh, we can do anything. So some clients really want to customize their core values or who their CEO is, who their president is. Sometimes they need everybody to know who their managers are. Sometimes they need them to know important fun facts about the company and their history. It really just depends on what that specific company wants. We also do fun things like, um, take an interesting fact from each leader in the company and we place it in the game, and that brings them to a challenge that says find this leader, ask them what the name of their pet is, how many kids they have, and things like this. So it gets conversations rolling and it starts the engagement.
That's great. And what sort of technology do you use? Would this be on someone's computer, on their cell phone? Um, and have you found that helps with the process as an automation?
Yeah, definitely. We have our own platform here at Strayboots, like I mentioned earlier, and it is a web-based platform. It's not an app that you download, but it is available anywhere that you can type in a URL. So on your phone or computer, laptop, tablet, everywhere it's available. And companies can also customize it. So if they're interested in, placing in their logo, changing the colors, editing the beginning and ending text and things of that nature, even down to the point where we can add a survey at the end. And if they want to ask specific questions, like how can we improve the onboarding experience? Is there something that you didn't learn that you wanted to learn today? And then we can give them those results.
That's great. And you mentioned the word results. How is that given to clients at the end of the experience?
So we have what is called a summary page, and at the end they'll receive a link, and it'll be sent directly to them. And on the summary page, they can see there's a live leaderboard. So teams or individuals that play, they get a score throughout, and they can see what amount of points each one has gained throughout the game. And then underneath of that, they can also see other statistics that we're tracking in these surveys that we can set up for them.
That's great. And how often do you usually recommend clients retest certain skills?
So it really depends on what they're looking for. We have clients that do this quarterly. We have some clients that do this more often than that. So this is something that we would customize with them too, and we would ask them how often they're looking for results and what they need to look at. How often we might need to test one company might not be the same as another.
That's great. It sounds like it's really customizable and really easy to use. Um, so, why do you think all of this is really? I know we mentioned earlier that it really brings engagement for a new employee. Um, why do you think this is really important for any sort of company to use?
I think that it's important so that the company's vision is clear, so that the company should be able to explain like what different programs they have, what the role of the individual is. This is something that's not very clear all the time. Like I said, the different mundane tasks we go through every day. Sometimes people that have worked there for so long, they just assume that somebody that's new would know that, and that's not true. So and just expectations of new employees and new hires when it comes to rules, when it comes to their roles, when it comes to company core values, these things. All this can be expressed in an onboarding program. So I always say if a company doesn't have time or they don't have something that's already put together for new employees to onboard, this is something that is so important. And it also helps employees feel valued, and it helps them stay longer with the company. They feel valued, they feel like they know what's going on.
That's great. And can you incorporate videos or other sort of media into the game as well? Uh, Videos from the CEOs or any sort of things like that as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've had CEOs want to give everybody that's a new hire like a message, or new interns coming on board, and we can take that clip and we can put it right into the intro of the game. So that's a perfect example of what we can do.
That's great. And can this work for any sort of company, big, small, B2B, B2C? I don't know, 10-person office.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super customizable, so that allows us to work with any size group in any company.
That's great. If someone wanted to start,
Hi, Julie. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to put you on mute. Danielle, can you still hear me?
yes, I can. Hi,
Oh,
Julie.
perfect.
So we just started a little bit earlier, but I just been asking talking to Ashley about the platform, about the Strayboots platform for onboarding. We had gone over a little bit about the customization that the platform offers, as well as the technology and the ability to customize. Hi, Sharon. Can you hear us?
The skill sets necessary to meet the needs.
I'm going to put you on mute if that's okay. Um,
Thanks
that's
for joining us.
so, Ashley, do you mind giving a quick snippet to our two guests about what we just discussed?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, thank you for joining us, ladies. We were just talking about the importance of onboarding and how Strayboots is able to work with companies virtually and in person to be able to customize onboarding experiences for people. And onboarding has been sort of difficult for some companies because of the lack of engagement. There's been not a clearly defined role for new oncoming hires and interns coming on. So we want to just take the time to address that some of these issues that companies are having while onboarding, and talk about how the program Bootscamp can really improve those. And being prepared on the other end for a company, having the proper resources, the proper technology, and really just being able to have the proper content that you want to introduce to new hires. And we're kind of just discussing how important all of those things are when we're talking about bringing somebody new into the company.
So, Ashley, to the springboard off that, if someone wanted to start their um, onboarding process fresh and new, what would you say would be an important lesson to start off with if someone was just starting off and creating their own onboarding platform and using something like Bootscamp? What would they need to do first?
I think that knowing your content is the most important, knowing who you want to onboard. So new hires, interns, if it's, you're using this platform for clients, anyone who's going to be the player of this experience, really defining what your content is, what you want them to know, what you want to tell them, and allowing us to help you customize that information and make it fun by gamifying it. That's definitely a very important lesson.
And you mentioned earlier gamifying being making it fun and exciting and engaging for new hires, because I know you mentioned that um, one issue that we've seen in the past, especially for new hires, that they don't feel like they're engaged and they don't feel seen by their new companies.
Yes, that's definitely an issue. This idea of gamifying makes the game obviously more engaging, but it also makes it more fun. It makes it very memorable. It takes these mundane tasks that I have talked about a few times now, and it just makes them more fun and more enjoyable. And they remember when they take a photo somewhere, or they meet somebody new, and they can ask them personalized questions, or they know where to pick up their paychecks and who is the person that runs that office. So all of these different types of things and challenges that we can customize and making them fun and interactive really helps like cater to them remembering them versus just sitting in a classroom and being told them and then asking all these questions again later.
And you said that you Bootscamp is able to do this virtually and in person. Have you found that there is any barrier to entry for virtual onboarding? People are sort of stuck to sort of get started with virtual onboarding.
I don't think so. I think that we've been ahead of the game for a long time when it comes to the virtual platform. A lot of our even scavenger hunt and orientation programs are self-run once they're designed. So we're very friendly for the virtual world. And then this makes it very easy for people that are joining new companies, even at home, to be able to be engaged. And like I said, we really spend a lot of time to customize the content. So it's usually a very fluid experience. And also on top of that, um, anybody can come back to us at any time and say that they want to edit the game, they want to add something, they found something in the content that, they had somebody ask a question or they wanted more information about. We can definitely do that throughout the process.
That's great. And what's one lesson that you've learned in the past couple months during the pandemic that you think has really helped you create the games?
I definitely think that we're all human and being able to humanize these experiences and remembering that, yes, we're employees at work and at jobs, but this idea of remembering that we're human and we miss seeing each other and we miss talking to each other and we miss not even just learning about the company, but that engagement that we have with our neighbor in the cubicle next to us or in their office across the hall. So I think adding in some fun gamified things like getting to know your managers or a fun fact about your CEO really makes that important and engaging, and it brings a human level to the game.
That's really great. I think that's really important, especially right now. I know working from home, we all learn really interesting things about each other, dogs, babies,
Yes.
angry neighbors. Uh, so that's great. We get to get another sense of that. What was the oddest orientation you've ever created, or a question you've ever created? You don't have to answer any names. Uh,
um,
any weird things you've ever had to put into a game?
Oh, recently. Okay, this actually just happened recently. I'm working on the grounds with a company, like within their office and outside with the art, the visual, and even in the very close nearby neighborhood because they lived or they work right down the street from it. And at one of the gyms, the company said that their CEO has a picture of them doing squats within the gym. So they said, can we incorporate that? And can we have them go and maybe, flex or take a picture near this? And I just thought that was great. And I thought that was very funny. And I thought that was exactly what I mean by gamifying and bringing in personal experiences. So that was kind of funny and cool.
That's great. I'm sure the pictures were amazing later.
Yeah, it's still being developed right now, but I can't wait to see them.
That will be great. I'm very excited to see that on social media later. And what is your favorite part about working for Stray Boots and creating these orientation games?
I love to customize. You probably see my face light up every time I talk about it, but getting to know the companies, especially since everything is virtual right now, and I get to jump on Zoom calls with all different people from all different companies and learn about who they are. And this is part of the fun that they get to have. When I worked with the people in HR or the event planners, they always get very excited to plan these events because it's usually the time that they get to let loose, they get to add something fun, and it's not just a part of their mundane, and it's adding a new element for them, and they get very excited about that. So being able to bring that excitement to companies and being able to make something fun for them, because I mean, we all have busy days at work and we all sometimes don't want to get out of bed to go to work. So being able to bring this to them and give them excitement about going to work, that definitely is rewarding.
That's great. Very excited to see more stuff from you guys, and see more stuff from Boots Camp. Um, do you have anything further you wanted to discuss, or we can open the floor to questions?
I think for right now, just really honing in on the fact that we can customize people's content, and that our web-based platform is really advanced in this technology right now, and being able to have that as a resource is really important for people, I think. But we can take questions.
Sharon, do you have any questions?